Everybody, if making money in any type of market condition is appealing to you, then I've got a video for you to watch. My name is Ron Wheeler. I'm the manager of options trading here at VectorVest. And if you think about the market this year, down pretty much around 10%, probably even more today now that we're down almost 100. So far this year, by placing just a few option trades per week, we are up over 9% to the year. So if that's intriguing to you, if that's a system that you would want to do in as little as 15 minutes per day, then I've got a great video for you because this changes everything. For you. Good evening, everyone. Ron Wheeler here, manager of options trading at VectorVest. With tonight's special presentation, this system has completely changed everything. And if you think about what's going on here in 2022, on average, the indexes are down roughly 10%. The S&P down 8, Dow down 5. In 2022, we've had a very bearish start to the year. However, this one simple strategy that I'm going to share with you tonight has us up about 9% so far for the year. And that's really my goal. My goal is to try to make around 3% per month on average. So what I want to do with you tonight is I want to take you through the steps and share with you some of what we do and how we perform these types of trades. And these types of trades are good for anyone. If you're looking for some extra income or you just want to add another options trading strategy to your portfolio, this is right for you. So first off, I want to take you on a journey back to when I first started trading back in the 90s. Now, one of my mentors told me right off the bat, Ron, in order to make money consistently, an investor or a trader, you have to be able to profit not only in bull, but also in bear markets. Now, the way that we do that and the way that we really should approach any type of model is to keep it simple. Number one, we need to have a good handle on direction. And then the second thing we need to be able to do is manage our money properly, because it doesn't matter if you're 70% right or if you're 80% right. If you're winning on a winning trade $500 and your losers are losing $2,000 or $3,000, this is not going to result in a profitable strategy. So one of the things that I'm going to show you tonight is by trading options, how we can manage the money more efficiently. One of the biggest question marks I always get from clients is, when is the best time to take profits? The easiest answer to that is do a trade that actually has a max profit that you can achieve. Now, before we get into those trades, the first thing I want to do, we talk about 9%. Let me actually prove this to you. What you're going to see right here, this is a snapshot from Wingman Tracker. This is what I use to track my trades for the year. It's a little bit easier for me to use this because I can very quickly go from strategy and kind of break it down into strategies and different symbols, etc., etc. So what I've done here is the first thing I want to highlight before I even show you profits, losses, and all that kind of stuff is I want to show you first the win rate. We're at around 57% this year so far. And I'll be honest with you, that's a little lower than I would like to be. But that's okay, because even at 57%, we can still be very, very profitable. Now, the next thing that I want to show you, in my opinion, is probably one of the most important things that you need to be able to do as a trader. And that is the average win to average loss. The average winning trade on my trades this year has been $808 on every winner and $621 on every loser. That means even if I was trading at a 50% accuracy, I would still be able to make money. That's one of the biggest keys. The more accurate we can get, the more money we make. But even if our accuracy is off a little bit, guess what? We're still going to be profitable. And that's the beautiful thing. Now, let me kind of take out the P&L. Now, this is all of the trades that I have closed as of April 17th, which was just a few days ago. And we're up about $9,200. Now, I trade roughly $100,000, and that's around a 9.2% return. And then commissions would come into that a little bit as well. But that is the trading log as of this year so far. Now, Obviously, the next question you're going to have is, well, Ron, how do you do it? Well, let's do it. Let's trade it. Let's take a look at the exact method that we use to do this type of trade. So what I want to do is I want to take that trading log that I just showed you, and I want to actually break it down into one trade that I took in the past. Now, you could break it down, as you see here, there's a lot of other trades that I've had that were winners that particular area, but I want to break it down to one trade in particular because I think it's got a lot of great properties here that we can all take advantage of. So it was a trade on Adobe, and it was back from February 23rd, 2022. And if you see the entry date, I got into it on the 23rd and I was out of that trade the very next day, the 24th. And I made around $700 in this trade. So I want to show you this trade in particular because, again, it's got some great properties that I think is going to be really beneficial about these trades. So what we're going to do first in order to achieve this is, number one, we are going to stack the odds. When we do our type of trading that we do with options, it's all about stacking odds. I want the odds to be in my favor as much as we can. So let me explain what I mean by this. This all starts purely with market direction. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go into VectorVest and I'm going to take a look at a market timing graph. This is what tells me whether I should be trading stocks bullish or bearish. So from the home page, I'll click on timing and I'll go to my market timing graph. And we'll move the market timing graph over to the left-hand side here. And one of the systems that I like to use, the market timing system I prefer, is the DEW. And I want you to take a look. The DEW was actually down from about January 5th to March 18th. And when I took that trade, it was right in the middle of that DEW down. So when I have a DEW down, I'm going to be stacking the odds in my favor. Selling trades or going short or going bearish when the market overall is bearish. So now the next thing that I'm going to do, well, it kind of falls in line. I am going to keep stacking. I'm going to now create probability in my trade. So take a look at a typical stock, right? Now, if you think a stock will go up or if you think a stock will go down, it's universal here. If you think a stock will go up, you buy it. Or you buy a call. If you think a stock will go down, you sell it, or maybe you buy a put, right? But at the end of the day, that is a near zero-sum game. You only make money if the stock goes up if you're bullish or down if you're bearish. Now, what we're going to do is create some probability in this trade. So, for instance, if I was bullish, I would pick a price underneath the stock and say, all right, I'm going to create a trade around that price, in this case, $195 on a $203 stock that says as long as the stock stays above $195, I can make money. Now, in a lot of cases, I can actually even go further than that, and I can increase the probability even more. If I pick a lower price, I can add even more probability. So if I chose 190, you can kind of see here that I now have a huge area of profitability. And that's what that green area represents. As long as the stock stays in that window, that green window, I can be profitable. And to think about that, you have now gone from this, where you're only 50-50 in probability, to now you've gone to this, where you have a 70% chance of success. And it doesn't matter if the stock is bullish or if the stock is bearish. You simply flip the script. So now if we think the stock will go down, we have room all the way up here to make money. If the stock goes sideways, we're profitable. If the stock goes up, we have a little bit of room for profits. And if it goes down, of course, we're profitable. Now that's the probability aspect of it. Now, the key point to this is there's one way, and really one way only, to get this type of probability in your trades. And this is the hallmark of how that 9% was made. So the next thing that we need to do to stack the odds even more in our favor is become an option seller. So now I want to go back to that trade on Adobe, and let's talk a little bit more about that and how that trade was actually done and what the ultimate outcome was. So this is Adobe. This was back from February 23rd, and I'll go ahead and add my crosshair to this. As you can see, February 23rd. Now, I was bearish at that point on Adobe. So what my goal was as a trader is I want to create an area to where I can be profitable as long as the stock stays in some sort of a range that gives me probability. I don't want to just go out there and buy a put. I don't want to go out there and just sell the stock. I want to create a range that gives me at least a 60% probability statistically of success. So on that day, I selected a $465 option. Now what that did is it allowed me to make profits as long as Adobe went down, went sideways, or went up. And if the stock passes 465, I would exit that trade with a small proportional loss. Now that's why in that Wingman Tracker account, you saw that my average gain was around 800 and my average loss was around 600. I don't take these trades and have them become huge losses. So let me explain this trade and I'll kind of show you how it was done. First off, I sell a call. I sell a $465 call and I receive premium. I simultaneously would buy a $470 call as insurance. Now, what that does is it pays me a premium. When I place this trade, the broker actually deposits money into my account. And on that day, they deposited $1.62 or $162 a share. Now, since I did that trade on more contracts, I took in more than $162. Now, as long as the trade does not go above 465, I become profitable. Now, I sold that position for $1.62, okay? My target for that trade, right up front, when you place an options trade, and I'll go into this a little bit more with you later when I kind of show you in real time how this works. If I place that trade, I get paid $162. My target profit is 50%. So the goal here is enter the trade and I'm going to get paid $162. I am going to exit the trade with an $81 profit. Now here's the key. The awesome thing about this is we place these profit target orders ahead of time. And this is important in Adobe because I want to show you something here. Look what Adobe did the very next day. Immediately, that stock gapped lower, and then later in the day, it approached my target at 465. And then the next day, we actually just went higher than 465. Now, how did that trade become a win, right? Because you all saw it in the Wingman Tracker. Now, I'm going to do one step better. This is actually from Thinkorswim when I actually placed the trade. So I placed that trade on February 23rd at 10:12 in the morning. As you can see, I did a 465, 470. It's what's called a vertical bear call credit spread, and I received $1.62. Now, this is the cool part. At 9:30 in the morning and 19 seconds after the market opened, boom, I got profitable. Now, the beauty of this is, because this trade had a maximum profit of $1.62 or $162 a contract, I was able to ahead of time know that my profit target was half of that, 81 cents or $81. I placed the order to exit that trade as soon as I got filled. And because that market hit that price fast, I got filled 19 seconds after the market opened that day. And guess what? It just immediately reversed and took out that 465 area. And I would have lost money on that trade had I not had a predefined profit target level and I hadn't placed an exit order ahead of time. Any broker can do this, by the way. This is something that any broker will allow you to do. All right? That's the idea of how we can stack the odds. Now, I want to walk with you one more trade here. And I kind of want to show you how this is done a little bit more in real time. Now, I've got Adobe set up to the last day here, which is this 22nd. It's down about $5 a share today. Let's say that you are still bearish on Adobe. You still want to be bearish and you'd still want to go ahead and do something bearish on this market. So I'm going to do that with you. Let's take a look at this. Right now, the stock's at 412. So let's go out there and let's establish a zone where we think Adobe is not going to go up to. Let's say, I don't know, $440 a share. That's a pretty nice buffer, 440 bucks. The stock's trading at 412. I mean, you're giving yourself a good $28 in room, right? So I'm going to go to what's called a risk graph. So on Adobe, here's what we're going to do. I am going to sell a $440 call. Now, the downside of that is if I do that, look at how much loss that I have in front of me. If something terrible happens, like a Netflix, for instance, and the stock opens up 35% down for the day, you know, I could be looking at a $5,000 or $6,000 loss here. That's very unacceptable. So what I do is I go out there and I buy an insurance policy. That way, if the stock goes up too much, I am protected. Now, what this trade does is it gives me a profit of potentially up to $130. Okay? Now, my risk is $370, but as you saw with Wingman Tracker, there's nowhere near that type of risk in a trade like this. That's because we take these trades and we treat them exactly like we would treat a stock, right? I wouldn't go short Adobe at 412 and then just let the stock go up forever. I'm going to have a stop in place, a maximum loss. If I was bullish on Adobe, I wouldn't just go out and buy 1,000 shares of Adobe at 411 and then just, let it go against me forever, right? I'm going to put a stop loss in there. We've got great tools at VectorVest for that. Profit Locker Pro is awesome for doing this. In an options trade, we can do something similar with our trades. If I'm selling a 440 call, I can simply exit the trade if the stock passes 440. And what that does is that will give me a risk of only about $100. Now, I know what some people think, hey Ron, what if the stock does gap? Does the stock gap? Sure, it can gap. It can gap occasionally, but we remove a lot of the risk from that from a lot of ways, simply just not trading around those big earnings announcements like you had with Netflix. So you occasionally can have a gap, but it's very, very rare. And if it does gap, the loss will not be that more significant. In fact, if you take a look, how much would Adobe really have to go up before you lost $370 a contract? You'd have to go up all the way to probably like $570 in one day. That's a huge move outside of earnings. Okay? But this is the concept, these vertical credit spreads that we used to generate that 9% return as of April 17th. Now, if this is something that you are interested in learning, we are proud to announce that we have an all-new options paycheck experiencing launching in May. Now, this is the most comprehensive option trading class that you will ever see. In this class, it's all new, redesigned completely for 2022. After going through this experience, you will know exactly how calls and puts work. You're going to know all the fancy terms that you need to know. You're going to know which ones you don't need to know. And you are going to be able to have no fear of trading options. You're going to have clear signals telling you not only when to trade, but when not to trade. You're going to be able to quickly identify the stocks like Adobe that are the best candidates. We use the VectorVest searches right within the software in the Unisearch. In fact, for Adobe, I use the search that looks like this. One of my favorite scans to use in a down market is IG plungers. And you'll see Adobe back on February 23rd was about 5 or 6 candidates. It looks like 9 or 10 candidates down on the list. So I use VectorVest to find these candidates. You're going to know how to set up these trades that give you a better than 70% success rate. You're going to have a trade management game plan in place prior to placing your trades. That way, it's easy to handle any situation the market throws at you. You'll be able to enter and exit these trades with your broker properly, whether it's your first time or your 500th time. And this is going to implement a system safely that can generate income. It's even safer than buying and selling stocks because you have a maximum loss. Now, the course is 8 modules. And again, it's all new design for 2022. So we made it so each module builds on the one prior. And as you go through the modules, you're getting closer and closer to that end goal, which is that consistent income or that consistent trading profits. Now, the first 2 modules are what we call the option income foundation. You know, a lot of people try to build a successful income portfolio, but they base that portfolio on a weak foundation of knowledge. We totally understand what it's like to learn options for the first time. We've been there, and that's why it pays to learn from a team who's gone through this before. Now, the outcome from Module 1 is you're going to know exactly how calls and puts work so you can confidently use them in your trades. You're going to know which things to pay attention to, what to ignore, so that way you're not wasting time or getting frustrated. Then in Module 2, we're going to teach you what a spread actually is, and then the internals of how it works, how you become profitable, how you lose. You're going to have confidence to start building this system around this powerful trade. Now that you've constructed that foundation, it's time to lay out the step-by-step system to placing the trades. This is going to help you generate those winning trades. Now, each step along the way stacks probability in your favor, and it reduces risk, and it all starts with knowing when to trade. You're going to get complete clarity on market trends. So instead of looking at all the different types of trades, we're going to narrow our focus, bullish or bearish, and also when not to trade. Now that we know the direction, we're going to help find stocks that are likely to move in that same direction. And again, it's all about stacking probability even more in your favor. So that outcome is you're going to know how to find those stocks, find the best indexes that are going to give you the best probability for success. And now that you've got that list of stocks, we're going to narrow it down to the best option candidates. And this is going to give you the highest probability, but not only the highest probability, the highest amount of profits. By using the rules in this module, you're going to be getting sure that you're getting paid top dollar for your trade. And you're going to make it so you can make money even if the stock goes nowhere. Now, you're going to continue to stack probability and reduce risk in 6. This is how you set up your trade. You're going to learn the perfect combination of risk and reward and know exactly where to set up your strikes. You know, great trades don't happen by accident. They happen because of careful planning and strategically setting them up correctly from the beginning. Now that you've got your high probability trade picked out and you're ready to go, in Module 7, we're going to teach you how to have your plan in place so you know when to exit the trade, not only to take profits, but to minimize losses. You'll never be frozen like a deer in the headlights ever again. No matter what the market throws at you, you will know how to react. And then finally in Module 8, this is all about the broker side. We want to make sure that you know how to enter and exit your trade with repeatable steps. It's going to be exactly like muscle memory. Now, we also put everything in place so you can never miss a step. We give you a checklist that'll take you through step by step. That's the beauty, and that's why this is such a comprehensive program. There's no abstract concepts here. It's rule-based, 100% the way. So when someone's first starting out, these checklists can be a vital asset to making sure you're performing the system properly. And we also give you a money-back guarantee. If you don't think we've proven to you that we can repeat this type of behavior, then you can get your money back. All you got to do is go through the course, watch the modules, and participate. And if you don't like it, we do offer a money-back guarantee. Now, I want to say one thing. Before I tell you more about pricing, please understand, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. I always like to say, I'm not an Instagram influencer out there, pumping the next NFT or cryptocurrency where you're going to make 5,000%. That's not realistic. But if you are ready to take the step, generate yourself some good returns through using only a few different types of trades, then this is for you. This is a step-by-step journey, the options paycheck experience. It's full step-by-step from the basics to implementing a complete system. So just these training modules alone are worth the price of the course. But I've got 2 great bonuses for you as well. Now, I said that this is all new. Here's how part of it is new. we're going to give you what's called the mastery package. Module by module mastery sessions. Each week, we're going to activate 2 modules for you to review. You're going to do some homework and you're going to take the quizzes. Now, these are taught via recording. Then the following week, my team and I will have 2 mastery sessions. One dedicated to each module to help you master the course material. And then at the end of the week, an additional live Q&A. That means you're going to have, 3 live sessions a week really to go over each module. Now, the mastery package also includes an online support community, private dedicated email that you'll have access to me and my team. And if you don't already have it, we'll give you access to both VectorVest and Options Pro. That's going to help you, test drive what I think are the best tools on the planet to implement this system. So with that mastery package, you're going to have not only the techniques, but you're also going to have the tools that'll help you place that first income trade. Now, one of the biggest feedback items that we've gotten in our options paycheck curriculum over the past 5 years is, Ron, I wish there was more time to work with you to implement. So we answered that. We solved it. We're going to teach you the core curriculum in the first month, and in the second month, your wish is our command. The second month is implementation month. You're done with the program. You are done with all the learning. Now it's time to implement. So for the next month, you're going to help me and you're going to watch me find, set up, select trades in real time. That same account that I showed you, that 9% gain, you're going to be able to watch me trade, manage my trades, help you find trades. This is a huge bonus. You're going to see the paycheck system in action, and you can follow along in your own account if you want to. Plus, I'll hold live office hours twice a week. So if you need help placing a trade, managing a trade, or understanding the concepts, I'll be there for you. And if you can't make a session, don't worry. We record everything. So now, all that together is about a $4,400 value. So I'm going to make you an offer. If you're ready to do the all-new options paycheck experience, give me those 8 weeks. I'll help you establish this and create this in your portfolio, even if you've never had success with options before. So if you're interested, the price is $1,295. Simply go to www.optionspaycheck.com. And as the year progresses, think of yourself, how much is this costing you not to do this? How much profits will you miss out? How much struggle will you have? Go to optionspaycheck.com, get yourself registered. Now again, the price is $1,295. Registration ends on May 3rd. And we also do, if you are interested, we have a 3 monthly payment plan of $495. We charge you $495 up front, and then every 30 days we charge you at $495 twice. So, 30 days $495, and the next 30 days $495. Okay? Now, for those of you where your schedule may be a little busy over the next couple of months, when are the live sessions and what if I miss one? Well, let me lay this out for you how May and June look. We're going to have our first welcome session on May 3rd at 5 p.m. Now, prior to that, on April 29th, we activate modules 1 and 2. And again, we won't be teaching these live, but not teaching those live gives us a lot more time for the masteries. We're going to have 2 mastery sessions a week, one at 5 p.m. or both at 5 p.m. Okay, where we're going to focus on one module at a time. Now, as we progress through the modules, you can always, of course, ask us about prior modules as well. We'll gather your questions via email and Facebook. And then we also have an end of the week Q&A wrap up. And again, this is now just giving you, no matter what your schedule is, plenty of time to reach out to us and have us help you implement this system. Now, once we get done with the actual technique and the teaching, that opens up June for what we call implementation. The second 4 weeks of the experience is all about implementing. At the beginning of the week on Mondays and on Tuesday the 31st due to the holiday, at 11 a.m. I place my SPX credit spreads. At 2 p.m. I come back and we do credit spreads on stocks. Now, I'm not going to tell you we're going to do stock credit spreads every single week because remember, we tell you when to trade and when not to trade. But those when not to trades, fortunately, are very few and far between. So those are live trading sessions. Again, if you can't meet them, they are recorded so you can always view them after the fact. And then I'm going to have 2 office hour sessions later in the week where, again, we can get together, we can manage the trades, we can talk about trades, answer questions on things that you're looking at, just any way we can to help you. Now, for those of you that are worried maybe you don't have the options experience to this, we've polled our prior graduates and 83% of them said that you can be successful with little to no prior experience. So go to optionspaycheck.com, get yourself registered. This is an all new experience. It not only combines the techniques, but the implementation as well. Some of our former graduates, Cheryl, I've really surpassed my expectations. I don't need the money back guarantee because I tripled my investment. Bruce, who's one of our Options Paychecks ambassadors, and you'll get to know him. I grew my account from 100 to 450 in 3.5 years. Frank, after taking the course, I've already made $7,300. Before the course, it was a crapshoot. Now I believe in the options trades. Cam, I've made back the initial investment so many times over. Even though it's a small part of my portfolio, it's probably the most profitable. I've initiated 43 trades, 38 winners, up 27 grand in 4 months. More fun, more confidence, and more free time. That's what Hugh said. Jake, I finally found a method of making consistent winning trades with a high probability of success. So if you know this is right for you, www.optionspaycheck.com. Get yourself set up. Let us teach you that strategy that in this year has so far returned about 9%. Our goal, 3% per month, 36% per year. Over the last 6 years, we have accomplished that goal. Let us show you how to do it. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your attention this evening, and I look forward to seeing you all in May for the all-new Options Paycheck experience.